Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Blogcast. Today we're looking at the contagion that is happening because of the fall of SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank that happened a couple of days ago. Now the contagion had initially spread into USDC, which is run by Circle, and this had caused the value of USDC to depeg. So the good news is the FDIC has said that they would ensure that Circle's and everybody else's deposits in SVB are refunded. So that's good news. And it seems to have brought back the price of USDC closer to $1. I think it's 0.99 cents as we talk today. So that's great news. But remember that this is not over. Some analysts had called the whole SVB collapse as one of the first cockroaches in the cellar. You know, when you see a cockroach in the cellar and you take care of it, it's likely that there's probably a couple of others there. So it's very likely that there are other banks with a similar business model to SVB that might face issues, or that might be facing issues already. One of those is Signature Bank. A couple of hours ago, Signature Bank was also closed by the FDIC with the problem that they realized that they could not essentially pay back all of their debts. And according to this, what we do know is that Signature Bank is in some way or other related to Coinbase, Gemini, Bitstamp, Kraken, Paxos, and Circle as well. And as you can see, a lot of these banks have similar business models, and that means they make it attractive for smaller people, smaller companies, smaller startups to deposit their money there, take their loans there. And so we don't know exactly what the relationship is between Signature Bank and, say, Coinbase and Gemini and Circle. We don't know if Circle, for example, has taken a loan from Signature Bank, or we don't know if Signature Bank owes Circle money. What we know so far is just that Signature Bank has been shut down. That means that none of these companies can withdraw. And so what is happening right now is that all of these startups, all of these small VC funds and so on who are associated with these smaller banks are coming together, and they're actually meeting and trying to figure out what to do. They're probably looking at their current treasuries, looking at what the amount of USDC and other different tables that they hold, probably thinking about different ways to diversify them. Now, more critically, they're also looking at where they store their physical dollars, non-blockchain based dollars. And of course, their concern is, well, is it safe here, or do they need to move it to a bigger bank? So what we can expect to happen is all of these startups, they're probably going to start looking into withdrawing from all of these other places, and the risk there is a potential bank run in all of these different places. And we all know that banks work with fractional reserve, and if everybody goes for their money, not everyone can get their money. So this is the current contagion risk that we're looking at. Nobody knows how it's going to go. So far, the good news is the Fed has said that they would bail out both SVB and also Signature Bank. So that is good news. So that seems fine. But all I know is that if I personally had my money in any of these other places, I would be considering moving it. And so that's probably what all of these startups are doing. And remember, the risk is not only in the blockchain space. There's all of these companies that need to pay their workers. So it doesn't help if they're unable to get their money when they need to. And it's a whole big chain, suppliers, users. So it's a big chain that's connected everywhere. So what do? The safest thing to do right now is to make sure that any tokens that we have in an exchange, in a wallet where we don't control the keys, I would personally take this as an opportunity to withdraw it and put it somewhere where I control my keys. The reason being that at this point in time, we're not exactly sure what's going to happen with the banks. We don't know if more will collapse. We don't know if, let's say, certain exchanges are connected to these little banks, because it seems to be the place where, for example, Coinbase is associated with the Signature Bank. So it seems to be the place where all of these crypto companies store their money. So the thing is, if they're unable to redeem their money, I know that the agreements say that it's your tokens, because trust us, they're sitting in our exchange. But this is not the first time that an exchange has collapsed. A recent one collapsed a couple of months ago, thanks to Sam Bankman, FTX. So just to be safe, it's good to remember that old formula that says that if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. If these companies need to bail themselves out, you probably come second in consideration, as we saw with Sam Bankman's FTX. So I think the message here is that we just need to be, I suppose, extra vigilant right now. It's possible that the market is overreacting, but just in case, it's always good to keep most of our tokens in our own ledgers or in places where we control the keys. And then if we have to keep anything, maybe we day trade, just keep that little bit amount in exchanges that we trust. But still need to look at the contagion. Signature Bank may not be the last bank to collapse, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, so it's always a good idea to just stay safe and hold our tokens. Until next time.